Here's the quick history of the whiskey fungus issue in York. In the summer of 2022, Wiggly Distillery owner David Woods submitted an application to the York Planning Board. Part of that application proposed to build 2 new whiskey storage barrel houses, or rick houses, to build upon the one they already have behind their barn. On a public site walk that fall, several neighbors noticed a black fungus coating the distillery and all over the adjacent Remax Realty 1 building. They asked David Woods about it, and he told them that the fungus is just part of the process. The last year has given everyone ample time to research whiskey fungus, learn the science, watch the news stories, and read the articles about the havoc whiskey fungus can wreak on a community. Lab testing of the fungus on the Remax building confirmed it was Bauduinia comtniacensis, aka whiskey fungus, aka warehouse staining fungus. Please Google it to learn the science for yourself and to see the devastation it has caused in other parts of the country and the world. The town of York has an ordinance which specifically says that a business cannot emit a vapor that soils or stains beyond their property line, or which could endanger human health, animals, vegetation, or property. Since the ethanol emitted by the distilling and spirit aging process is what feeds the fungus, Wiggly Distillery is in clear violation as they are actively soiling and staining property beyond their lot line, and they could damage vegetation and human health. Again, please Google this. More and more neighbors began voicing concerns, and at a June 2023 planning board meeting, Wood's lawyer at the time suggested that it could not be proven that the whiskey distillery was the cause of the whiskey fungus.
Where is the report that says that this growth is caused by Wiggly Bridge?
So, the town ordered Wiggly Distillery to pay for robust specimen collection from 100 sampling sites in a spatial analysis report generated by Dr. Tora Johnson at the University of Maine. You can read this report and explore the interactive map of the sampling sites. As expected, the data showed a high concentration of whiskey fungus all around the distillery's property, extending into neighborhoods and affecting hundreds of residents and many businesses. Using the scientific data, Dr. Johnson concluded that the distillery was very likely the source of the whiskey fungus. But despite publicly acknowledging that the ethanol from his establishment generates visible whiskey fungus,
the Remax building has spotting.
Woods hired his landscape architecture firm Fuss & O'Neill, along with an attorney at Pierce Atwood, to desperately poke holes in the UMaine report, challenging both the testing strategy and Dr. Johnson's interpretation of the results. This, of course, rejects both science and common sense. Dr. Johnson replied to each of their points, explaining clearly how she came to her conclusion that the whiskey distilling operation is the clear source of the whiskey fungus, even calling out red herrings in Wood's argument, which were designed to mislead and distract from, again, the science. And here's the insane part. More than a year into this process, and now with the scientific proof, Director of Code Enforcement Harry Norton just released a statement recognizing that Wiggly Distillery's output caused staining on abutting buildings, but it has since been cleaned, so therefore there's no outstanding code violation. But if it did cause it, then it could cause it, right? And ethanol is emitted constantly, right? And it takes time to become visible, right? And David Woods openly admitted that their new barrel houses would result in visible fungus too, right?
For us, the bloom could be right around 68 to 85 feet around the building to where this fungus could be seen.
That brings us to now, October 2023. In the planning board meeting on September 28th, after 3 hours of deliberation, the planning board voted to deny Wiggly Distillery's application.
4-1, then the motion to deny passes.
But they also invited Woods to amend his application, seeking conditional approval to build the barrel houses and use them to store non-ethanol emitting products until a regression analysis could be done, which would project how far ethanol could travel from the barrel houses when they're full. But it's a pretty safe bet that since the existing smaller barrel house is shown to be releasing enough ethanol to produce a large hotspot of Bauduinia, that once again, 2 significantly larger ones would extend that hotspot well beyond their property line. What's next? We wait to see what their next move is, and hope that Woods finally arrives at the conclusion that the leading experts suggested almost a year ago.
So this is not a secret to the folks who are running this operation. And if they just kind of step back from it and realize that this is a losing proposition and just find an alternative plan, I think it's probably the best thing for everybody.
Nobody wants to see this business suffer. And putting the barrel houses on a new plot of land that is not surrounded by a neighborhood on all sides is the best, safest, and most common sense move for everybody.